I'm not about to be 1 minute late, West. How's everybody doing tonight? Kazra, welcome to the show. We get to kick something off together for a change versus you doing it solo or me doing it solo. So we got a busy show tonight, but as everybody's noticed, our CAF updates on Thursdays have gotten rather long, and we decided a few weeks ago that we were going to start scheduling our standalone OAX announcement shows, and that's what this is. This is the first of at least a few. We have another one scheduled for next Tuesday as well. But as the need comes up, we will definitely probably plan one or two more before we get there. What do you say, Kazra?
Yeah, because we want to get all the news out sooner than later. I think you and I kind of have a drop dead date of the 14th, the CAF update on the 14th next week, where we have all the announcements out. So if you look at the OAX site now, I think we have 44 artists up there and announced. But if you look at our private spreadsheets, we've got 62 artists, I believe, 61, 62, somewhere in there. So we have 17, 18 artists to announce in the next 12 days. And I think we'll start with about a half dozen tonight.
Exactly. And it's easy. I knew we were going to be over my limit. You got your way. I didn't get mine.
Yeah. I got the title. Yeah.
So it's nice to have a lot of people in here ready to see what kind of updates we've got in store for you. Like Kazra said, we're going to have at least a half dozen announcements tonight, but we'll have some new pre-con opportunities and an exhibitor interview, I believe, somewhere in the middle of all this. So first up, we've got a guest that I did list on the website sometime late last week, but we never didn't formally announce them, but we can do that this evening right now, as a matter of fact, by bringing in Mr. Jim Afood.
What's up, guys?
You're in a better spot than me. How you doing, Jim?
Great. How you doing?
Cannot complain, sir. We've like we were talking about in the green room, we've had a very busy, gosh, the last 6 months have been very busy, but the last 2 months have been extraordinarily busy here. But all for the good stuff, man. We've been trying to, OAX has kind of got a life of its own now, and we're just kind of along for the ride.
That's why I wanted to be a part of that ride, man. And I thanked you guys in the green room, but I also want to thank you again publicly on the show of allowing me to just invite myself into the OAX environment for January, and you guys responding and allowing that to happen. So I do greatly appreciate that.
Well, it's our pleasure, Jim. Obviously, I've had you on the show before doing interviews, and we've known each other for a while. So when the opportunity came up to be able to have you come onto the show with us, for OAX, I think that we were glad we had room. That's for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, it's awesome. It's gonna be great.
So one of the, as you know, I mean, it's for us, it's been a long journey, but I think when you get there, I think you're going to enjoy it. We've been really, for us, OAX, to me, it's going to be a big sigh coming out of me when the doors open. But Kazra, he's just like I know he's been giddy waiting for that moment to happen where everybody gets to, run into the room, pick their targets and things. So, as far as having a show that's really dedicated to comic art and the narrative arts, I mean, I know you've been to plenty of shows in the past. I mean, but what are you most looking forward to for a show like this?
Well, I love being involved in something that is like the ground floor. I mean, literally, this is the first year. And I think when you do a first show of anything, especially something that's specialty focused, like original art, the excitement and the audience and the people that are showing up, I think it's just kind of a given that it's going to be awesome and fantastic. So I also, man, I mean, I've been doing conventions for like over 26 years, and anytime there's a show where there aren't like movie, TV celebrities, there aren't all the other distractions, and it's just pure like comics or comic book art, or for this show, original art, that to me as an artist is fantastic. That's why like Heroes Con is still one of my favorite shows. Mm-hmm. I got to go to Italy in May of this year for Lake Como. Nice. Those are really where us, the artists, feel special, welcome, appreciated, because you're dealing with a clientele of people that know what they're doing and know what they want. And I wish I could see everyone's collections that are actually showing up to OAX, because I'm sure some of these people have like some of the most incredible comic book art on the planet.
Well, the thing is, I can't imagine that you won't be able to. I mean, you have free reign to ask a collector, so what do you collect? Because you know that most of them are going to be carrying portfolios with them. You should. I think that's got to be part of the fun is you know, you as creators getting to see what other people collect, what other artists are bringing. I mean, we have that opportunity at OAX to do that. So I would encourage you to do that.
Okay, I will do that then, because in doing conventions, I have seen some incredible things, from Dark Knight Returns original pages to, you know, Mobius art to whatever. I mean, you guys have probably seen all that stuff through the years too, but some of this crazy specialty shows, like especially Como in Italy, some of the original art that was happening over there was like just completely blew my mind. And it was super inspiring for me to see as a visual maker. It's like, well, this is incredible that I'm seeing this, but it also, I'm seeing this technique that this artist is using. And now I want to go home to my studio after this trip is over and do my art, you know, do my thing. So.
Well, that's that was kind of part of the idea. We wanted the artists to be as excited to be, you know, to be there as the attendees were. So I think that's what we're going to get out of this. And yeah, Como does have that. I mean, you know, they get a lot of the European artists there that you don't normally be able to, you know, get to meet. So I'm sure when you were there, you got to meet some artists that you know, we just don't get here in the States too often. That's something I've never made it to Como myself. Sometime in the future, I'll make it there. But
yeah, you should go. But you got your own Como that you're masterminding here for us in the States.
Exactly.
You don't have to fly like 13 hours to, not that you know, Italy is obviously gorgeous, but it's kind of cool to be able to hop on a plane and have the States represent a specialty show like this. Like, to me, it's like, man, it's about time. It's going to be incredible.
Oh yeah. And we'll be bringing, you know, some European artists over here, you know, like they bring the US artists over there. So I think that it's going to work out well for everybody. So so one of the things that we wanted to talk about, since we are on a timeline here, Kazra's got us on a tight schedule, we've got a lot to do, was that you are going to be offering some pre-OAX commission opportunities. Not many, only 4 as a matter of fact. And you have 4 different tiers of those. And we're going to show everybody just, you know, what the prices are and the example, and just one example of each. But I know that we're going to be sending people over to your site to fill out. You have a contact form over there, and that's how people are going to communicate with you as far as setting these commissions up. And I know that you've got more examples on your website for you know, of your work. So if anybody sees these and has questions about the commissions, they can certainly, you know, work that out with you. And yeah. Perfect. And there is actually going to be, right now, there is a link on OA Expo on at the top underneath the recent announcements over to Jim's page. I did make a page for Jim over there as well. So that's got a link to his contact form. And I'm going to put a link to the contact form in the chat too, just before I start showing these off, so everybody knows how to contact you, Jim.
Cool. So, thank you.
And so the 4 levels that we're going to show, Jim is only going to take 4 total, everybody. So if everybody takes the lowest tier, and there's 4, that's all he's taken. If everybody takes the highest tier and there's 4 total, that's what Jim's taken. So he just he's only able to do 4. Yeah, is the thing. I
wish I could do more, but with my current freelance and, you know, getting invited or inviting myself to your show at the very last minute, it's like before the end of January, I can only fit in 4. So, but there will be more down the road. I'll have a commission list down the road. So
sure, and we can always help promote that for you too.
Cool, thank you.
So let's see here. We'll just go low to high, because we've got 2 different sizes with a black and white and a color option. So first up is a 9x12 single character. I wrote that single character in there, Jim, just because I was looking at the image. So you know, I assume that was the right thing to do. Yeah. So black and white option here on this 9x12, priced at $700. We also have a color option, same size, at $850. And then we've got two 11 by 17 options. I didn't write single character on this one, of course, but I meant to. I guess I should take the logo off there so you can read it all. But 11 by 17 black and white at $1,350, and 11 by 17 color at $1,500 as well.
Yes, and with all 4 tiers, you will get some hand cut Zipatone on the piece. So that's just a bonus, you guys, of me obsessively collecting Zipatone for like the last 20 years and loving to use it on my original art, because at certain conventions, young people will be looking through my portfolio and they're completely baffled when they see Zipatone on original art. Some people have asked me, like, did you do these dots by hand? It's like, no. It's an old school shading film that you just cut out with an X-Acto knife and put on the original art. So I love using it. I mean, so even with the black and white, you're kind of getting like a third tone, a gray tone.
Jim, you're not printing that out? That's stuff from back in the day?
Yeah, well, I actually have a top secret connection that makes Zipatone. And I cannot reveal my source because he will be overwhelmed by every other artist in the world. And so I have a dude who it's not hard to figure out how to make it. So I'm not going to reveal the recipe because he'll be mad at me. But I have a guy that I hit up like once a year, and I'm like, I need 50 sheets of this size and 50 sheets of that size. And
Nice.
In 2019, I went to Japan for the first time, and I went to that. There's a famous art store in Tokyo. I can't remember the name of it, but every artist goes there, and they have an entire like aisle of every Zipatone pattern you've ever seen in your life. So I walked out of there with a stack of like this big of Zipatone and $500 worth of Zipatone. And the people working there were like, wow, you really like this stuff, huh? I'm like, yes, I can't get some of these patterns anywhere. So I'm bringing these home and stacking them into my luggage or whatever. So.
Well, now that your peers know that you've got a stash of it, they might be hitting you up for it while you're at the show.
Yeah. People are going to be annoying me about it, but it's just a cool, it's a cool look, and it's interesting that it's kind of made a bit of a comeback with like Daniel Warren Johnson using it, and James Herron, and my buddy Jason Sean Alexander. Him and I are big texture guys. So whatever you can do to add a bit more texture to things, whether it's the zip or ink spatter with a toothbrush, or it's just something beyond just your normal line work technique.
How long have you been using it?
What are you working on now, Jim? I haven't kept up with you lately. I don't know if you can talk about what you're working on in the future, but what have you had out lately? What are you doing?
Yeah, over the last year, I was doing exclusive web comics for a company called Zest World. It was kind of like a Substack, and they had me and David Marquez, Joelle Jones, Jimmy Palmiotti, and Amanda Connor. So I was creating exclusive Girl Scouts comics for them. My contract with them is over, and I'm doing a print version of all of that that'll be released sometime this year. So I'm putting that together. I've been working with the Fortnite video game people. I just had a loading screen show up in the new chapter of Fortnite. I have the original right here, actually. Might be bringing that to OAX.
Nice.
But so yeah, I've been working with them. And then what else am I doing? I'm putting together a new art book that'll be out this year. And then the big thing I'm working on, which I guess I can announce here, I won't say much more about it, but I'm doing a brand new comic book project with Scotty Young. So that's going to be like my big project for the next 2 years, probably. It's going to be awesome. We're both super excited about it. And that's all I'll say about it.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I remember the last time we talked, Jim, you were in a much smaller room. So the space you got to work in right now looks pretty amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I just recently moved to Kansas City, and I'm renting this crazy like art loft downtown. So it's basically like I'm living in a small warehouse that I can skateboard around in on the hardwood floors. It's pretty wild, but I really wanted to like treat myself and have a space where I can actually really set up a big studio. And behind me, I just got a dining room table that showed up that I want to be able to host like drink and draws here with local comic book talent and get like Scotty to come over, and Kyle Strom lives here. Baltimore Rivas lives here. Jason Aaron is here. So that's kind of like my comic book crew in KC, and I want to be able to like eventually host gatherings, because I'm big on like, you got to have your comics community. You got to have your people that you hang out with. It can't just be like online relationships. I need like real human interaction, because I'm just alone drawing so much that there 1 or 2 days a week I'm like, okay, I have to be around actual people and see what my buddies are working on and look at people's sketchbooks and stuff like that.
The Illustration Academy used to have their summer program in Kansas City with John English's group, with George
Yep.
Pratt, and Sienkiewicz used to fly in for that like every other year or so. They have crazy Sterling Hunley, a whole bunch of great guys come in for that.
Yeah.
I think that they did it in Michigan last year for some reason, but maybe they'll come back to KC. If that happens, I went once and hung out with him. It was amazing.
Yeah,
It was
man.
while Mark English was still alive.
Yeah. It's interesting you brought that up, because one of the first questions I asked one of my old professors at the Kansas City Art Institute, his name's Brent Watkinson, illustrator. He's still teaching there.
Color theory. He's the best for color.
Yeah. He was part of the Illustration Academy, and that was my first question, was like, when's Illustration Academy coming back to KC?
Yeah.
I want to be a part of that, so we'll see. I'm not sure what's going on, but
well, when you come to OAX, George Pratt will be there. Talk to him about it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. I'm a huge fan of George's.
He'll probably just want to know the best place to get, burn ends in KC. So that'll be a fair trade.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome.
No, that sounds fun. Connections are abound already. So Jim, I've got the link out there on the OAX website. So keep us posted, on that. We'll keep promoting it for you until you get the list full. And,
Will do.
I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of that. That's been part of the fun from some of the commissions that we've been taking, is just getting to see the work being done. So I mean, if you have things to share in advance, feel free. But definitely, that's what one of the things that people get to look forward to, is getting to pick up stuff and then share it with the other collectors that are going to be at the show.
Oh, definitely. And I'm always curious as what people want. Like, one of the examples you showed was a Bender from Futurama, which I did for New York Comic Con this year, and that was just one side of it, and the other side of that piece was a commission that the same kid got Matteo Scalera to do, of Dr. Zoidberg. So those pieces actually joined together. Like, Matteo and I planned it together and sketched it together. So I like when people commission like interesting, bugged out stuff that, I can kind of go crazy on. But at the same time, just drawing Batman is always a thrill too. So it's always interesting to see what people want, what people ask for.
You draw a great MODOK. I know that for sure.
Oh, you've got that old school MODOK. Yeah. When you sent that in the email, I was like, oh.
Yeah, you used to set up with Scott Morse at San Diego Comic-Con. And it's the first table I used to go to, because I had Scott do like a bunch of like baby MODOK, day in the life of MODOK type stuff. And I used to get you to do MODOKs for me too. Yeah.
Yeah. I really miss Scott. I still talk to Scott all the time. We're still super tight, but I definitely miss him not being at comic book conventions.
Yes.
He's at San Diego. That's the one show he does every year.
Oh, he does? He still does it?
But I'm trying to get him to like get back out and
Well, we'll talk to him for next year. He's in California still, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can get him out.
That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Let's all gang up on him and peer pressure him
Awesome.
together.
All right. We're past time. I'll just go ahead and say it.
Yes, we are. We're past.
Oh, good.
We knew we were going to be a pastime. Probably the whole evening we're going to be running late. But
yeah, somewhat. You know, this Jason guy's not going to show up, so we're fine there.
More than likely.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, you never know. He might surprise you.
Yeah, he'll come in later. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
good seeing you, Jim.
Good to see you guys, and thanks again. I appreciate it.
All
Thanks
right,
for coming. We'll talk to you soon too.
Okay, take care.
See ya. Good seeing you again. So yeah, that's cool, man. Jim's a good guy.
He's awesome. Yeah, he's awesome. He when I did the anthology back in 2012 and 13, he was one of the guys that I invited to be a feature artist. He's incredible. I actually have the book here. Might as well show off something that he did just to give people an idea. And when I lived in Brooklyn in 2008, I saw a beer truck go by and I'm like, that's Jim Mahfoud's art. And he did like some Colt 45 urban advertising thing. Look at this stuff he did, this 12 by 18 inch page art. And then he did this comic book story. Wow, this thing is so big. It's 18 by 24 inches when you open this book up. He's amazing. Lots of zip on those pages too.
Where's the link? Jason's asking me where the link is. I pasted in the chat a few times to take to email Jim, but I'll put it in there again. But it is also linked on the homepage of OA Expo, right up at the top under recent announcements or recent. Yeah, is that what it was? I can't even remember what the little header is at the top there. But I didn't have a chance to make a graphic, but I got a big Jim Mahfoud pre-OAX commission link up there, right at the top of the page. So yeah, no, Jim's an awesome guy. If you've seen his art, well, heck, we have several collectors that we're all good friends with that have commissioned Jim over the years, and there's a lot of great work on CAF by Jim. So yes, so where are we going from here, boss?
Well, we can go with that group where the guy isn't here; he's overseas. You know that group? You know,
I do know that group. Yeah, because I didn't think
that group.
I didn't think they were joining us because they are overseas. But
no.
But so just so everybody knows, we've been in talks with Jason from Essential Sequential for quite some time, and it took a little bit of just working things out with him and the team. But we can actually announce which artists of his are going to be there. I don't know if we can announce all of them.
5 of the 6. We got 5. We got 5 of them queued up. Yeah.
There you go. So you don't get to meet them because I think most are overseas at the moment. Because
they are going to be on with you, Bill, on the CAF update on the 14th.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I haven't shown anybody yet, but the group leader, along with at least 1 or 2 of the artists.
Well, I'm looking forward to that because I think most of the artists I haven't met before. So, in fact, all of them I've never talked to before. So yeah. So should we just dive into it and let everybody know what the 5 are that we can announce?
Yeah, let's show the pretty pictures.
Oh, sure. We'll get started with Mr. David Finch. He is going to be in attendance, so we're pretty happy about that. I think David was one of when we talked with Jason, gosh, probably like 6 months ago. Finch, I think, was number 1 on the list to say that he wanted to attend, which was pretty cool. Yeah. I've always enjoyed David's work a great deal, and just having him be excited to be here was good. Like most of the artists we've reached out to and spoke with, I mean, that they want to be here, but Finch was right up there. So
he's in Abu Dhabi now with Shakhtar, and even though they're going to be jet lagged when they get back on the 14th, David was the one who absolutely wanted to come on the show on the 14th.
Oh, that's right. That is, I forgot about that. He did want to hang out, and he was. And as everybody knows, he's got a huge following on YouTube, and he wanted to kind of look, I actually had a better image right there with our logo on it.
Pretty.
Much prettier. So so David's number one. Then let's see. I actually didn't put these guys in any order, but I know this will make Tim Guerrero very happy because JG Jones.
He's been asking.
Yes, Tim has, and we have accommodated. Or JG will be at the show. We're very and we couldn't be happier. JG's one of those guys whose artwork I've always admired, whether he's doing color painted covers or he's doing ink wash interiors. I mean, he's masterful. And I know he had to take a little bit of time away from going out the shows, so we were apprehensive that we were going to be able to have him be at OAX, but he's going to be there. Yeah,
JG's coming with his wife. Dave's bringing his son, David Finch. Yeah, they're gonna have fun with it.
Well, that's remember, it's a family affair at OAX. Everybody, we were always encouraging that, but you don't have to bring your significant other. That's not a requirement. Alberto's wants to claim something from everybody tonight. Let's see. Next up, might as well go ahead and show Dave Johnson will be there as well.
Yeah, I was super happy about this. He's amazing. I used to just follow his drink and draw drawings. He used to be out in LA, and Leighton and him would hook up all the time. They're old friends. And I his design sensibility is awesome. His sense of humor is awesome. And they both came out on those quick drink and draw stuff. Yeah. But he's a legend already. I guess we're old enough to say that. He's a legend.
Yeah, without question. I mean, one of the most popular cover artists I think that are out there, at least as far as design and composition, and he is a master. And yeah, I think we are at that age now where we can say he is of that notoriety.
Well, he's like one of the only people in the world that Howard Chaykin compliments. So that's saying something.
That is very true. Howard speaks very, very highly of Dave. And I know Dave
all look bad, quote unquote. Yeah.
That's true. That is exactly what Howard said. I've got Howard on the show on Saturday. I can probably get him to repeat that. But no, I mean, I think having him at the show is just a great addition, and he's equally as excited to be there as well. And that's again, that's kind of the theme across the board with all the artists that are making it to the show is they feel pretty honored to be a part of the first one, just like Jim was mentioning earlier. And yeah, I think it's just gonna the show's just gonna be the better because of all that. Now we also have Sean Crystal, whose work I really like, coming to the show. So I'm happy about that. I know I had a few people who were asking about Sean, and it was tough not telling anybody who was going to be able to make it or not. But Sean is going to be there. So happy to have him too.
He's great. And I get a little uncomfortable saying things like this, but ... I really, his work, for me is getting better and better. It has like a little bit more of an urban even edge to it. And this might sound strange to people out there, but I think he's going to be one of the first 2 or 3 people I get a commission from.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't have anything by him, and I think that he's killing it right now. And I haven't had a chance to talk to him much. So the Ink Pulp podcast on YouTube with Canetti, Scalero, and him, I one of my favorite ones. And those guys they hustle, they're working artists, they're raw and direct and funny and insightful. And I like to spend a little time with Sean. Should have kept Jim on too, because they're best friends. He probably would have said glowing things about Sean too.
The fun part about organizing this show is going to be figuring out how to table everybody, because so many people are going to, to us seem like obvious choices to kind of put in the same areas, but it's going to be interesting once we start fine tuning everything, because we haven't gotten there yet. Everybody, we're close. I'd say we're close, Kasra, but there's still room to tweak things a little bit. And last but not least, and it's not last because there is a 6th, but we can't announce them right now. But we've got Brian Stelfreeze, and I think that was kind of teased at Comic Art Live. As everybody knows, we had Brian scheduled to do a panel with us on Saturday that he wasn't able to make at the last minute. We would have probably announced Brian at that moment in time, but now we get to announce that he will be there. And again, it's funny, as many times as I've seen him at shows, I've never spoken with him. So
Me too.
I am looking forward to at least getting to say hi.
And I haven't, because again, for almost a strange reason, it's like I have like reverence for him or awe for him, and I just hesitated going and talking to him. Like if I was in a group or there was like a mutual friend, I would have done it, but I didn't have the guts to just go up and say hello.
Same here. I hate to say it.
All those heroes show too, and it's crazy to me. Yeah, it's crazy.
Carlos Mo is trying to get us to give initials. But yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Eric Grove Art, another attendee, a guest of our show is in the chat. Nice to have you here, Eric. But yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And the thing is, it's for me, Brian's just great, master of color. We've got other painters that are going to be on the show floor. So we really got a great mix of creators and their approaches to narrative storytelling. Really, not all. You've got Mafood, who's been putting Zipatone on things for years and has his own approach to stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm excited to just be able to walk the floor and just watch the artists work. I mean, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, Essential has an incredible lineup. Just no way around it. And if we expand in year 2, I hope we have 10 Essential artists there next year. I know Eric Canetti was going to come. I think we're not speaking out of turn here, and he couldn't make it for scheduling reasons. He actually was committed to coming, and we were thinking about Klaus, who's an old friend anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Matteo Scalera needs to come, right? I mean,
yes,
we could add 5 more people right now without even looking at the list. So, but we'll start with the 6th. The 6th one we'd announced just that Jason couldn't get 100% prior to leaving to overseas, so we'll just let him do it on the 14th.
Yeah, we'll take care of it then. Surprise, no Klaus? ? Well, he was on the list, and then I think something came up on his schedule, Jason.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he was in the initial set, but again, as the conversations kind of went along through the summertime, Klaus ended up having to remove himself from it. But yeah, it's going to be great.
We're going to do this every year, whether we want to or not, right? And and Bill and I have talked a lot about keeping the show pretty fresh year to year with the sort of artist roster, exhibitor construction, and show events. So if we have 62 artists this year and we expand, and let's say we go up to 70, I would be surprised if more than 30 of them are repeat from year 1, no matter how good they are. It's not about how good they are. We want to get more Europeans in, more Brazilians in, more Filipinos in, more Japanese artists in. And there's, I mean, our Excel sheet has at least 240, I think, right now, possible artists for OEX. So we got a couple of years mentally sketched out.
Exactly. And that was the thing. I mean, nothing against a lot of the shows that we frequent, right? But a lot of the shows typically, have 90% of the same artists year in and year out. And that's fun. It creates this family environment, very friendly. You know who to expect when you go. But ideally, I think our approach would be where, less than 50% of the artists from the prior year would be there in the next year, which, that can evolve over time. I'm sure one day we could have 80, 90 artists there. I don't know, but at that point maybe the numbers might be different. But when we're sitting around 50 to 60 artists every year, there's no way that you'd want to bring in 50% of the same artists. It just wouldn't. The show wouldn't have the same impact, I don't think. And I think it's good. It kind of gives us that curatorial kind of approach to the show, just to really make it something special year in and year out. So.
Yeah, a few more illustrators would be great. And then we talked about some other categories of OA that are adjacent or related to or overlapping with comic and narrative art. So yeah, year 2, by year 3, maybe it'll be 2/3 comic art and still 50 to 60 comic artists. Let's see.
Yeah. You never know.
Alberto keeps asking about OAX West. Why don't you talk to our OAX showrunner? He's in the chat. His name is Mikhail.
Exactly. Hey, just anything's possible, but right now focus is strictly on OAX in Orlando. I mean, it's we chose it because it coincides with CAF's anniversary, as everybody knows. CAF's going to be 21 years old this February, and so that was a big part of it. So and we know that it's a good time of the year to get south. So that was so we're kind of settled on that right now. I certainly wouldn't want to do a show that might detract from one show versus another. So if we ever were to do anything like that, it would definitely be something that we'd have to go through a strict consideration process.
Yeah. And Jeff Wedding is he's already given me some incredible like hamburger joint spots for OAX Vegas. Yeah, he's got good ideas too.
Now I would be all into that, obviously.
Yeah, OAX Vegas would be. San Diego's, I go there a lot for family. It's nice, but Vegas, there's stuff to do for everybody.
That's very true. I see Fred Chamberlain's in the chat too. Yeah, CAF is old enough for you to buy it a beer.
And Fred, we owe you a reply. I am so sorry for that. I'm so sorry that I'm going to say it here with a red face. And James, there's no way there'll be an OAX in Oklahoma unless you do some trademark infringement.
I thought we replied to Fred. I thought I
told you yesterday I was going to, and I think I told you the day before that I was going to.
So you told me you were going to do it, but you didn't do it.
Yeah, it's 100% my fault. Yeah.
So Fred's going to be there, Jason, but maybe he was starting to wonder. Sorry about that, Fred.
Fred's be there with Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Sitting right next to Kevin Nolan. And Kevin Nolan's wife, who is very enamored of Jose. So yes, they're going
to. Thank you, Fred. Thank you for understanding. I have never in my life gotten more emails and sent out more emails in my life than the last 2 days. It was pretty weird. Yeah. No, I need to set up some filters. I need to do what you do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got emails to reply to prior to Comic Art Live, so that tells you how far behind I am. But yeah, it's that's what it's been like. We're definitely doing some things behind the scenes that we'll be announcing, in the next few weeks or months that will help. I think we'll make everybody be pretty happy, that we're bringing in some more help, because we definitely can use it. Just it's surprising how many things there are to tackle, and putting it together a seemingly simple show like this. It's not as simple as it turns out. So, but yeah, good things are coming. That's for sure.
Someone asked if we could. They missed part of the show, so just a quick recap. We're announcing from Essential Sequential 5 artists tonight: Dave Johnson, David Finch, Sean Crystal, Brian Stelfreeze, and JG Jones.
Exactly. And prior to that, we announced that Jim Mafood is attending and was taking a very short 4 commission set. And we put the link in the chat a few times, and you can go over to oa-expo.com to also get the link to see the commission examples, the price levels, and get your request in, because he's only taking 4 total. So trust me, I thought about it, but I figure, all right, I'm going to see Jim many times in the future. I can wait. We do have we're going to have a pretty interesting pre-OAX commission announcement shortly that that I might want to jump in on as well. But it's another one of those ones. It's like, I'm going to wait. But it kind of came out of nowhere just yesterday. So we were able to squeeze this guest in that will be on here very shortly. So yeah, I don't think we're going to have that other guest.
Well, but they're committed to coming, and I've got a few images. Why don't we just announce that they're coming, and then if he wants to come on and talk, because he's a great talker. Once you get him on the phone, he's great. Then he can do that, but we can just let people know that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
CGC's facilitator, their main facilitator, Captured Collectibles, they're actually just completely out of luck. They're out of Orlando. These people have like 30,000 plus items that they send through CGC Central in Sarasota down the road every year. They actually do Como too, Bill. So they're pretty accustomed to the sort of environment, sort of arts-driven environment. They are going to be doing the CGC witnessing, grading, so on and so forth, and they're going to be sending out through their social networks announcements about people who would like to get items signed. And if you have something there that you'd like to get witnessed, they'll be there in an exhibitor booth in full force. I think that there'll be 4 or 5 people at their booth at the ready.
Exactly. Yeah, I haven't talked to Jason. I know you've talked to him a few times, but that was the one thing that I thought was interesting, was that they are used to going out to Como. So Steve's had him over there, and they're used to being in these sorts of settings and doing their things.
And Jason just knows everybody. Everybody. I mean, we end up. DeTulio told me, "Oh, you know Jason? I know Jason. The Marvel card art guys, they know Jason. A bunch of the artists we talked to, Leighton is talking to Jason now. So, yeah, they'll be there if this is if something people want. I know the card art guys are big into that, so it's definitely partly for that community.
Mm-hmm.
And CBCS, of course. West and his group will be there as well, and they've been working over the last month to get books in. And just so everybody knows, our relationship with them is that artists will not be taken off of the show floor. Any activities related to pre-show sort of offerings would be done just prior to the show, let's say Thursday or Friday during the day, or Saturday early morning, or Sunday early morning. And we've given a couple of exceptions for like 15 or 20 minutes to like use a room or something like that. So we did not want to take away from the show whatsoever, take artists away from the tables and from interacting with everybody. But this is a fundamental part of our hobby. And 62 people in a room with only up to 400 or 500 attendees, it's just too much of an opportunity for people to spend quality time and get the stuff signed and get sketch cards for people who don't do sketch cards, things like that.
Yep, that's true. As Carlos Mo said, no bathroom breaks. Well, one of the reasons we decided to supply lunches for the exhibitors was because we didn't want them having to leave their tables to go find food. So that was one of the things we agreed upon very early, was to take care of everybody. We've got coffee in the green room for the guests, so they don't have to run up to Starbucks, all that. So that was the goal, because we felt like 7 hours on the show floor each day was more than adequate to get the work done for a show our size, and we wanted to make sure people's time was really optimized for those 7 hours. And so we have spaces set aside if needed for any kind of signings that they might do before or after the show, or even the day before the show, if that's what they work out. So
actually, James Henderson, who's in the chat, he emailed today, and I basically had to, I didn't want to lie to him. He was asking me about CGC, and I was trying to figure out, like, I put my lawyer hat out to try to give him an answer without giving him an answer. So James, there you go. And we got Ken Lashley here, which is always, Ken Lashley is the man. I could talk to him forever. Yeah. Ken, if you're still listening, I will email you tonight, and hopefully we can talk in the next few days.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, that was, but the whole, the whole grading side of things was very new to both Gazra and I, but so we've learned a lot, and we are, the thing is that these are ways that the creators get to make a few extra dollars at a show too. So we figure if we're bringing them out there, we want to make sure that the artists have as many opportunities as possible to, recoup some of their travel expenses as well.
And so, you maybe the chat knows better than me. I mean, people are starting to slab art. That was maybe this is, I'll put my old man hat on. All right. A little strange. A little bit strange. Now I know what's the difference between a sketch cover and a 9x12 sketch, right? And somehow in my bones, it just feels different. But they have 11x17 slabs now for art, and people are doing it. Now I haven't really seen much of it, and I will remain neutral until I a little bit better educated on that. Yeah.
Sorry, Marcus, there will be no celebs unless they're attendees buying artwork, not behind tables.
All right, who's the celeb that we can bring in that people would want to see more than Marcus? Anybody? Raise your hand. Okay, Rosario Dawson, maybe. Who are the celebs? Yeah, go ahead, Marcus. Turn it back on me. That's fine. You're still not answering the question. You can't. No
That's
celeb.
right. There you go. TMD1 said Marcus is the celeb.
Yeah, John Cena. That's not bad. Chris Evans that's a good one. Yeah, Mark Hamill was just at a show with the CGC guy. That's a good one. Pam Anderson just posted a makeup-free photo, Rich. In case you want to reconsider, I don't know if you're that type of guy or not. Robert Downey Jr., that's a good one.
Top of most people's lists, I'd say.
But do you see that the small list and the quality of it that you have to go to beat out the holder of the crotch goblin?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. We're all celebrities here. You spend any time on the channel, and most of you many of you in the chat have. We're all celebrities. So yeah, we don't need any celebrities at the show. That's the thing.
We're waiting on a couple of celebrities. They're acting like celebrities right now.
Yeah, they are. Mark Hamill and Gene Simmons collect. They do. They actually do. It'd be pretty cool to have either one of them show up to buy some art. Matt Groening would be pretty cool to have pop into the show. I'd take Kevin Eastman. I have no idea.
I think that we need to get Danzig. Danzig should host the auction.
Danzig's somebody I've always wanted to approach to do an interview with, and I just haven't. But I'd love to get him on. See Matt Moore. Yeah, he's thinking the same way. Yeah, Danzig would be pretty cool. I mean, he's he's basically an OG collector, dealer, everything. He's been around a long time. Same thing with Eastman. I'd love to have Eastman on and talk about his collecting days, things that he's have gone through his hands over the years. I mean, I've heard so many stories of artwork that he's collected.
I've been to his vault in Massachusetts. It was crazy.
See,
it was crazy.
You're holding out on me, Kazra.
I bought a bunch of stuff from Kevin, back in 2005 and 6 in Northampton. Yeah.
Wow. This didn't come out in our interview. The interview we did for Comic Art Live, or when I was interviewing you to be CEO.
Yeah, I don't like to be interesting when I'm on camera.
Oh man. So
I'm just saying it now because we're filling time.
Yeah, I know.
I had some backup images in there of the floor plan. If you want to bring that up.
You did? I didn't see those.
Really? There was we even had a little bit of 3D rendering so people get an idea of the show floor.
Oh well, why not? While we're waiting for
it might be just 5 more minutes.
Yeah. Here, I'll go over there and find it. I didn't see those. I just in the same folder.
Yeah. Oh, there. There's
some.
Oh, well, see,
Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell.
They look well rested too. Like they've been on some sort of beautiful European escapade.
I thought they were on one today when I saw a picture of one of them having lunch, and then I realized they were just eating outside at a cafe in.
Yeah, but it was. I saw one with her pose, and she had that European "I'm at a cafe sitting outside" pose. She just brought that back to America with her.
Yeah, I was like, why is Jimmy posting old photos? Well, there, I guess I've spilled the beans. So why don't we bring them both in?
Very funny, very funny.
By the way, I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. Do that European coffee drinking pose.
Well, you've got it down pat. I thought, why did Jimmy post a picture from when they were in Europe today?
He's catching up.
I'm catching up. Yeah. Well, we were away for 41 days.
Wow.
And then the last thing you want to do is let the world know you're away from your house for 41 days. So we didn't post pictures till we got back. So, so it just seems like the smarter thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we were all envious. We didn't think you were ever coming back.
It was tempting, but there is no place like home. As you know, traveling makes you do two things. You like appreciate other places like crazy, and at the same time, there's things you miss about. You miss your bed. It's just like a weird thing. Your own pillows.
Yeah.
We definitely were in a hotel room every 3 or 4 days, so different hotels.
Yeah.
My friend moved to Paris. He became kind of snooty, and he was there for a long time. And he told me that the nicest thing that I ever did was I overnighted him a Tombstone pizza from the grocery store, a $4 Tombstone pizza, and he was the only guy in Paris that night. I guarantee you, the only guy in Paris eating a Tombstone pizza, and he loved it. Yeah.
It's weird, right? Because you're in Paris, and there's a lot of Italians there. There's a lot of restaurants, but it's a certain kind of pizza they make. Like anything, you get used to something, and then everything else seems exotic. So, I always say it's like kids want to move away from where they grew up because everywhere else seems better. Mm-hmm. And so it's the same thing with food. Although I gotta say, when you eat food in Europe, you feel like, well, maybe because we were moving around so much, but I felt like the ingredients were less chemical. We're more. We felt like everything we're eating was fresher and lighter, and and they drink beer and wine like it's water, like we do.
Jimmy, it is more regulated there, and it's not a free market capitalist. It's socialist, which means they can actually enforce the law too.
Right.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah, it kind of works. It kind of works pretty well as far as food wise, but there's definitely, it was a nice break, and it's always, I think it's a smart thing no matter what you do for a living, take a break for a while and then come back freshened up and ready to go. And that's where we're at now.
41 days, Bill.
Yeah. It's the longest vacation.
Like 4 days off.
It's the longest vacation as an adult I've ever had. Now,
That's
as a
amazing.
kid, of course, we had all summers off, but this was pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was good. We did bring Mork with us, but we didn't do it at a breakneck pace like we usually do.
I actually did the Kickstarter the whole time I was away and traveling. I was actually at one point we were in what city? We were in Austria, I think, and like 3 a.m. I had to go find a room in the hotel.
It was Northern Italy.
Oh, it was Bolzano?
Yeah,
it was Bolzano. Yeah. And I had to find a room to do a Billy Tucci show interview for the Kickstarter. So it was 3 a.m. and the hotel guy puts me in a room on the first floor. And halfway through the show, he comes in, he goes, "You're too loud." And I'm like, "Dude, that's why I had you put me here." I said, "I would have stayed in my room." And insult to injury, they charged me $50 to use the room. So it's just crazy.
Well, I thought it was interesting you were going to run that Kickstarter while you were on vacation, but
but
it worked.
That's different.
Yeah, I felt like, for me, when I know a Kickstarter is not going to be like this, the Hunters was a Western, and Westerns are really hard to sell. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to let it sell on how good it looks and the artists I got on it. And, and we did pretty good with it, but a little less than we usually do. But I just told Patrick, who runs that for me, I said, "Patrick, it's not going to do insane business. It's a Western." I said, "I'll sell more of them after. Like when I'm at a con, if I have a pile of them, I'll sell them like crazy. But Kickstarters and Westerns are not a thing, I'm slowly learning 22 or 23 in what sells on that market,
Well, I'm with you there. I mean, even in OA collecting, the Westerns are still affordable, no matter what era they come from.
Yes.
Outside of
Sean did the licensing, right? Did he license? Is it Lone Ranger? What did he license?
Oh, sure. He did Zorro.
Zorro.
Yeah, Zorro's different, right? Because Zorro's an actual character with a lot of history.
Oh yeah.
Where a Western is like, how many Western characters can you name in comics?
Yeah.
Besides Jonah Hex.
Yeah.
Because I just took away your first guess.
You did.
Yeah.
I was going to say Two Gun Kid.
Blueberry.
Right, Blueberry, right? Especially if you're in Europe, Blueberry's big. Two Gun Kid, that's old Marvel, right? So, but I mean, it's very, very limited genre in comics. That's why I knew, like, Batlash is another one, and Rawhide Kid, and but they're all kind of like, I'm gonna say the biggest one now is Gunslinger, is Spawn, That's probably the biggest Western character we have in comics now. And I'll be writing a new Gunslinger series anyway. So
if you come up with any kind of Western hybrid, Jimmy, I think it'd kill it. Yeah.
Yeah, they do, they do the we call it genres in a hat, where you write down every genre, throw it in a hat, and then you pick out 2 and you go, oh, it's a werewolf Western. It's it's a vampire sci-fi.
It sounds good already to me.
Yeah, there you go. Ghost Rider, right?
I would read the werewolf Western.
Werewolf Western. There's a lot of
100%.
werewolf Westerns, actually.
Wow.
There's actually even movies, werewolf Western. So there you go.
I've missed those apparently.
Yeah. So how you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. We've had some very productive days, I'd say, in the last week. I mean, there's still so much to do, but Kazra's got a pretty important call tomorrow that I think will answer a lot of some of our setup questions that we've had.
Oh, good.
That
Good.
have been lingering for months. It feels like
You got the hard work, Kazra. You got to deal with the Monopoly pieces.
I don't get nervous. I'm just not that type, and I've been nervous. I've been nervous.
Oh, have you? It'll all get done, right? It'll all get done.
It will.
Right.
And, the mind just drifts a little bit. So you just pop a pill or something and you feel fine. But we're at the stage where we're like at 92 to 95% done with about 45 things at the same time. So you feel like Chicken Little for a moment. That's pretty much where we're at right now.
Well, I mean, it is talked about a lot. The OA Expo is talked about a lot with a lot of because people are asking me questions about it all the time. Hey, you guys are going. What are you going to do? And you're doing this, and I just say, go buy your tickets right away, man. Don't.
I love that.
Go there.
Go buy your ticket and find out, kid.
Buy your ticket and then ask me the questions, because I said it's gonna be sold out, and then you're gonna get pissed off that you waited till the last minute. But human nature, of course, is to wait till the last minute for a lot of people. Not for me. But for a lot of people, they definitely wait till the last minute on things, and then they get pissed off that they can't get in. And I have a couple of friends. We have a friend that's an art collector that's our air conditioning guy. And I told him 3 months ago, Nick. I was telling him, I'm like, Nick, just book it, and trust me, it's going to be great. Just book it now while you can, because there's going to be a point, a week or 2 before, or even 3 weeks, where it's going to be sold out, and you're going to say, hey, can you get me into this? And I'm going to be like, dude, I said, I'm getting, or Amanda's getting me in already. So that's how I look at it. She's getting me in. So I'm like, I can't get you in, and that's going to happen. Both you guys know that's going to happen. It's going to be that person that is like, oh, well, I just figured I'd just show up and, so where's, we have that all the time. So I tend to be the guy that buys the stuff early, and so I don't have to think about it again. San Diego, I already got for next year, have the hotel room lined up, have pretty much everything lined up, because I'm like, I don't want to worry about it. I just don't want to. And with you guys, you have to, of course, there's 1,000 things that you guys, because it's the first show, right?
Yeah.
But but I'm at your disposal. I told Bill this all
you
the
haven't
time.
gotten your guest contract yet, but you will.
Yeah, I got a magnifying glass for that one. I want to see what that's about.
I'm not opening my email, and I'm turning my phone off, and I'm writing the contract tomorrow.
Yeah, it's hey, look, we're excited for it, because I think this is going to be the first of many. I'm super, super stoked for the guests that you got. I mean, I'm in the business, and I'm still, my brain is like, oh, I'm going to go see Kevin Nolan, and then see Adam Hughes, and I'm going to go see that guy, and I'm going to, so it's like, and I'm in the business, and I'm excited to go that. And I just love the idea of a convention that has comic book art everywhere. That's like,
we got you and Amanda. I mean, we got you placed right near the
bathroom
illustration group as well. So the bathroom, the convention services guys throwing in buckets as part of
there you go. Just a bucket under every table, so you didn't have to leave the table. Yeah.
And the Slingsby Brothers guys, the Carol Day book guys, are going to be right near you too. They're going to have
awesome.
they're going to have some unbelievable stuff at their booths. So
yeah, we're bringing a lot of Amanda art and stuff that I inked, and then there's some other little surprises and some giveaways.
And you'll have the Italians a couple booths down too. The two Simonis, Demio and Bianchi, and DeTullio, and
I can hear that. I can get the breeze from their arms swinging around as they're talking. It can be blown away.
That's funny.
But yeah, no, it is gonna be pretty cool. And I like you just mentioned, we got you up, I think between Kubert and Hughes or something along.
Yeah, and Adam, and Allison, yeah. No, I'm really, like I said, we're really excited, and I've been promoting it in my local shop, which is I have my office in the comic shop here in Tampa area.
Right. Yeah.
And the guy who owns it is already going, and another buddy of his already got their tickets, they got their rooms. I said, look, you don't, because you can't come to me at the last minute and beg. I said, it's not going to work. I don't have that kind of pull, Right. So leave me out of this when you start getting mad. But I think if you're a comic book art fan, how could you not be there? And then we got some people coming from overseas, which is pretty cool. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, I already I know which tables I'm going to hit and pick up some art for myself, because I collect as well. Although I'm trying to get rid of more than I am,
Right.
But you know how that works, Bill.
I do. Now, are you going to have that stack of affordable artwork that you usually bring?
Yes, I bring. So what I do is stuff I've inked in the past that they're not really like great superhero pages, but they're pages from a lot of books. I put them out. We put them out in like a couple of FedEx boxes, and I forget the price. I think it's like $60 or $70, whatever it may be.
75 to 100.
75 to 100. All right, so whatever. It's in that ballpark. But they're good pages by like known artists, but they're not the big splash of Batman, or they're not the big Superman thing or X-Men thing. But they're great pages. I kind of bring them to every show because I want people to get, even a lot of people tell me they can't afford original art. And I always tell them, I'm like, besides commission, you can afford it. You just don't go for the colored painted cover all the time. Don't wait for that. If you want to start collecting, just collect the characters you like or the artists you like. Because right now, like, how great would it be to just have some nice Bernie Wrights and Swamp Thing pages that didn't have Swamp Thing on them? I'll take any of those. I'll take any Barry Smith page without Conan on it. I'll take it.
I'll take the envelope he shipped the pages in.
There you go. Yeah. So, like, with that thinking in mind, I always bring these pages that are cheap and people could take. And I have guys like Doug Mankey, had some Amanda pages, and Billy Tucci stuff. There's a whole bunch of different people. And there was some really good stuff. And I usually sell like 30 or 40 of them every show.
Nice. You made a lot of people happy.
Yeah, and it gets people started, because I think it's intimidating. And Antoine Dennison said he bought some from me. Thank you, buddy. But I think sometimes it's intimidating because initially when you approach the comic art, you see these giant prices, and we call that the headline, right? The headline is to get you to see how much art is going for. But the reality is, you go to some of the auctions or you go to the person's table and you go, how much is that? And you'd be shocked sometimes. They go, oh, that's a nothing page, $50, $60, whatever. And bang, you're like, there, it's right there, And I did have some she art. I think it was your pages.
Mm-hmm.
I had some Amanda pages from
it was from Tomoe.
Tomoe, yeah. So I just think, like I said, I think there has to be something for everybody, and we need the starters besides the sketches. Obviously the sketches are the sketches, but I'm a guy that loves to see the printed page. I want to see the page that was there before I got my comic, and I want to see the panel breakdown. If it has lettering on it, that's an extra plus for me, hand lettering. And there's just something so cool about having an original page from a comic you love. I can't even describe it, but I just
So yes, I know. I mean, the thing is, I buy a lot of very underpriced pages because that's sometimes that's makes me just as happy as buying the expensive ones. You got to have a variety, and you can't afford all the great stuff anymore.
No,
it's
no.
Unapproachable. So yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading through the chat. Everybody's very excited that you guys are excited to be there too.
Yeah, man is going to be drawing a butt off there, right?
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, it's an actual art convention, so it's not like a sign stacks of book convention. So
right.
I'll be majority drawing.
There you go.
That's
I'm
nice.
Really
looking forward to that because I do enjoy drawing at conventions. I don't always get the opportunity to because they get really crazy busy and everything. So I like this. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Larry wants to know, Jimmy, what you're interested in trading because he'll bring stuff that you're looking for.
I have like favorites, but they're always expensive, guys. Because I love anything Manara. I love the Hernandez brothers. I love Jack Davis art. I'm looking around. I'm looking around the room. I'm like, there's so much stuff. Who else do I like? Yeah,
Darwin,
my tastes. I love Mobius. Anything Mobius. My tastes have always been expensive. I love what I love, and when I first started buying artwork, I realized I was like, oh my god, I'm going for all the people that are very expensive. What's going on? I love John Byrne stuff, but back then it was hard to find Byrne stuff. Like I couldn't. There wasn't a lot around me. I like FF Pages, John Buscema. John Buscema stuff I love, and
some Gene Colan probably, yeah.
Yeah, I love too much. How about you guys? What's a favorite? Kasha, what's your thing?
I love Gene Colan.
Oh man,
he's so particular. Then the lighting and the movie lighting.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He's great.
I'd love if you brought some Hernandez pages with you because I've very rarely ever seen them in person and out in the wild, other than a couple of Scott Eater's table.
Yeah, Scott used to get. But boy, the prices have gone through the roof on a lot. They have.
But Sienkiewicz is my first, second, fifth, 20th, and 32nd love of my life.
Amanda used to be his assistant. Right?
Oh, I know all about it.
Yeah.
Bill and I are old friends too.
Yeah. Bill's great.
Yeah.
This the
and anything with MODOK on it. So.
Oh, you MODOK fan?
Yeah.
All right, that's good to know.
Those pages are usually pretty cheap. I think, right? Probably not. Not the ones Kazra would want.
No, you gotta like look at it and go, yeah, that's not for me. Walk away from the booth, and then have somebody else go buy it. Because they know they're hanging it out there like a bait for you. Yeah,
the problem is people know that I collect MODOK art, so that becomes the big problem. Anyone who gets proud about overpricing a piece of MODOK art needs to go rethink their life.
Yeah, I think the joy is, and I think the selling part of me, the joy is to get a page. Somebody wants something so badly, and you have it, and you're able to make a good trade for it. I traded some people on the CAF site. I traded some artwork, and I traded a guy. I had a John Romita Jr. Daredevil page, and he had a Manara page, and we just traded. And I was like, are you sure that's enough? And he's like, yeah, that's great. And I'm like, okay, like that's fantastic for me. And it just, like I said, that's kind of fun too, when you can do that. But Gene Colan is funny. Castro, I want to tell you, Gene Colan, when I was in high school in 12th grade, there was this guy, Dave Simons, Armando Gill, and Ken Landgraf, and they had a little studio in New York on 21st Street. And I did some ghost inking on it, and I inked the Gene Colan Howard the Duck pages from issue 1 and 2 of the magazine.
Oh wow!
When I was in 12th grade.
You're kidding.
No, young. I was young, and I was doing the gray wash on it.
Did that have the washes? Yeah.
It was
crazy.
Yeah, which we just would put a drop of ink in the dish, and we'd make like 3 or 4 drops, and I'd make like a dark gray, a lighter gray. You couldn't go too smooth. You had to kind of do it in all wash, but I did that for like a half a semester. I was inking those books because Dave needed help doing them. There was a lot of pages, and they were oversized. They were pretty big pages, and the washes were taking a long time. to do. But that's how I learned to ink on Gene Colan pages, which is almost frightening.
That's
You
crazy.
know?
That is scary,
Because
especially for somebody that age.
yeah, and
Oh my
and
God.
Gene used like the side of the pencil, so he would like fill it in, you know, and so you had to like really make a firm, like, I am gonna do this line, and then that's gonna be black, and that's all there is to it, you know. And so it was a fun thing, but I always loved his work. And I recently bought a sketch from somebody. It was Howard the Duck and Bev by Gene Colan. It was a pencil sketch.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And then I gave it to Klaus Janson. I said, if you can ink this for me, I really appreciate it.
Wow.
So he's still doing that now. It's been 4 or 5 months, but I know where he lives, so I'll get it. I'll get it from him.
So we are on a schedule tonight. I hate to
Sorry
say
about
it.
that,
Yeah, we've been trying to keep on a schedule, but one of the reasons you both came on was, and this wasn't something we had talked about prior to this, was that Amanda was open to taking on a few pre-OAX commissions, which was a surprise to me, but I was very happy to find that out, Amanda.
I'm gonna do
it. Well, I remember after our interview, I remember how you were saying how you really enjoyed getting to do those 3. It was just something that you don't get to do too often at the shows that you go to, or even in your spare time, because you are very busy. And so that was I was a little surprised, but we're very happy about that, and the people who are watching tonight will get the scoop on that, because it's a very limited opportunity for everybody. But again, I can't thank you both enough for agreeing to do it, because the one thing that we've been really thrilled about, Casper and I, is just the idea that so many artists have kind of stretched themselves, to make the show special, whether they're doing something they don't normally do, or they're bringing something that maybe they haven't, nobody's seen before. That's been one of the things that most people attending have really wanted to do, because they know that's going to help make this first OAX all the more special. Like you said, the people who don't go are really going to regret missing out.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I think we talk about how many she's taking on, or that's for later?
No, we can talk about it. There's because I've got slides ready to show, and what I decided, just so what everybody knows, that I've been setting up forms typically over on the OAX website, but for tonight with this one with Amanda, I decided we'll have an email address on there to send them into basically it's going to come into Casper and I, and then we'll get them over to you both once we get them. But there's going to be 6 commission slots that Amanda's going to take. And I might as well just go ahead and show these, because you've seen these pieces before. They were on the sale, and that's what we decided to use as the example images. So this is going to be on the 11x17 black and white single character. We need you to email info@oa-expo.com the character you'd like. Again, I didn't write it on the slide, but it is limited to only 6 opportunities here. So remember, we held an auction for this piece. It went for more than the price we're asking. I think as did this piece as well, went for more than the price we're asking. So yeah, this is again, so, Amanda, you just these don't happen too often. I mean, you can go on to Comic Art Fans and look up commissions or convention sketches that you've done, and a lot of times, most of the time they're smaller remarks. So the 11x17 opportunities are pretty rare. And
it's a comic book size page.
Yes,
it's a full page.
I'll see. I had the other one here too from the Vampirella. But yeah. So this is again. I couldn't be happier to know that we're going to get 6 more pieces by you out in the wild, and hopefully posted to CAF once this is all over. So this is for people who are attending OAX. Remember that. So these will be delivered at OAX, and you have to attend if you want to get a commission. So that's part of the fun in all of this. So there you go. Hit us up with the email info@oa-expo.com. I will get a listing up there on the site tomorrow as well. But I figured rather than try to struggle with updating the website live while we were doing this, email was the easiest method to get this taken care of tonight. So there you go. And I can't tell you how close I was to wanting to buy this one direct from you. And when I saw that, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let that one go and let somebody bid on it and win it.
And
But
it is a fun one. Pushing up her sleeve to kick someone's ass is great. There's one character Amanda won't do though for the commission list. What is it?
Galactus.
Yeah, no,
I don't want to draw Galactus.
You don't want to draw Galactus.
Sorry, Mikhail.
Galactus free. No Galactus.
well, I don't blame you.
I have to have Galactus.
Well, yeah, Galactus is definitely one that gets requested a lot though, or around here, and but that's okay. Now we have some ground rules. Galactus is out,
Yeah,
but Jack of Hearts is in, right?
Sure, anything. What, you don't like the Jack of Hearts?
maybe.
Yeah, it's like a playing card superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Fortunately, there's not a lot of
Galactus,
Jack of
sure.
Hearts collectors. There's,
How about Godzilla?
Ooh,
Oh, I should like.
I do like Godzilla.
So like,
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Although you know what, I would be. Nobody draws Godzilla like Art Adams, so I would feel like
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd feel a little bit like. "Ooh."
You'll probably get some pros, the pro or Harley, right? We didn't even show a Harley Quinn.
Sure.
That seems pretty obvious, but well, there's only 6, so if you're gonna get it into Bill right away, and that's it, and it's closed. The minute it's done,
Exactly.
it's closed.
First 6 to come in will get it, and again, it's going to be awesome. I'm very happy that we get to play a role in getting more artwork out there. It's been one of the the last 3.5 years of doing these shows. And doing the virtual shows on CAF. It's fun being a cog in the whole economy of art collecting. It's something that I wouldn't say I shunned it early on in my days with CAF, but it's a lot more fun being a part of it than not. And so I'm glad that we get to kind of help facilitate something like this out there. So
Yeah, we get to pay for that trip we just took.
41 days on the road is a bit costly in Europe.
Yeah,
Going
We
down to
spent a lot of
Tijuana.
money on cheese.
yeah, a lot of cheese while we were traveling. That's for sure.
Hmm. Well, we'll keep you posted on this, and Jimmy, Kazra and I do need to set up a meeting with you. I mean, I'll be honest, at the rate we're going, it's probably going to end up having to be a Zoom call or something. I had hoped to maybe
little
swing.
coffee.
Yeah. And like I said, I can come out. Kazra, where do you live close by too?
I'm in Orlando, so
you're in Orlando.
we can meet
Yeah.
up. Get
I'm good to meet up one day when you guys want to meet up, and we can hash out whatever you need. Like I said, we're both really excited about the show. It's our first show of the year, and of course, it's going to be hard to top it.
Yeah.
I know it.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to some chaos. I know you guys are all about wrangling the chaos, but there is an energy that you can't stop.
I am frightened. I am frightened of
You-
Saturday morning.
You have some very experienced people around you that know how to handle groups of people.
Well, we might be asking for
Oh,
help.
we've hired security.
Yeah. Well, I also think, and I got to be honest with you, like the comic art fans are like just a very special group of people. They really do love the art form, and they're super, super respectful. And if they're not, we know how to take care of them.
Mhm.
I got a guy.
You got a guy.
I got a guy.
All right, perfect. Well, listen, I'll be in touch tomorrow, and maybe we can set up something for next week. Meet in Orlando or someplace thereabouts. So Orlando's about in the middle, since I'm north of there, and you're
That's fine. That's fine. We meet in the castle at Disney. We meet up in the top room.
That works for me.
You
I've
like
been there.
Ethiopian food.
Yeah, we get European food up there. We get wine up there.
Ethiopian food. Let's go
I think
for Ethiopian.
Michael Jackson's jacket is up there in that thing. That's what I hear. I hear it's up there.
Let's find out. Yeah.
He stayed in that castle when he went Disney.
Oh,
There's a room that you have to be such a insane VIP level to have that room in the castle. There's one room, and I know when Michael Jackson went there, that's where he stayed.
Wow.
Yeah. There's probably monkey feces everywhere. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, bring the UV light. Yeah.
You took it too far, buddy. You took it one step.
I didn't say DNA test. Well,
No, that's 2 steps too far.
All right. Enough. Okay.
All right, get rid of us.
Yes, we'll be in touch.
All right,
kids.
take care, guys.
good night. Thank you.
Good
See
night.
you soon.
Have a good night.
Yeah, they suck.
You just had to go there. But yeah, so that's great. So 6 commission opportunities with Amanda, 11 by 17, $1,500. And yeah, I mean, I could think of at least a half a dozen characters I'd love to have her draw. And most of them DC, believe it or not. And I would even do that, even though I'm not a DC guy. So, so yeah, that's pretty awesome. I think Fish is in the chat. Jimmy pushed the branch down. Cats pick the fruit. Anyway, my daughters were actually in the castle somewhere up near the top, but I'm sure it wasn't in the Michael Jackson room. They got their hair done there when they were around 8 or 9 years old. So
we got another old friend waiting in the room back here.
I do see them in there, and yeah, I can answer. Well, 2 things. One thing I have to say, we have a juggernaut that we haven't talked about yet. We won't talk about them tonight. But when I woke up this morning, I had a task for the juggernaut. And I'll tell you, I do, and I'd forgotten about it all day up until somebody mentioned something in the chat.
Yeah,
I want the juggernaut to get a Zevia sponsorship.
Hell no.
Come on, they just gotta. I don't care if you like it, if you don't drink it, it's fine. The juggernaut can get us hats and T-shirts with the Zevia logo on it. I bet you he can work his magic and make that happen. So that's number 1. And then number 2, I saw mystery sketch reveal. I saw was a question, and we've actually got a show on Friday that is dedicated to mystery sketch reveals, because I got a package coming in from DHL from Next Comic Art. So that'll be the next time we see some mystery sketches, and it'll be a lot of them, probably like 45 or 50 of them. So that is on the way. No, it's not the juggernaut Jason D'Ambrosio, but just as brutish and grumpy as times. So anyway, so we're going to have 2 guests. I see one in the green room. I guess we should just roll into that segment now, right? To keep the show on pace.
Sure.
So let's see here. Let me bring in Mr. Tony Moy.
Hey,
Tony.
what's up?
What's up, Tony?
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you guys.
You've been pretty busy. You've been hitting shows, traveling around.
Yeah. I've been to a couple of countries. I was in London, and then I went to France, into a little town in eastern France for some research for my book and things like that. And then San Francisco, and went to LA. Just a lot of traveling, some for shows after New York and everything else, but no rest for the wicked, right?
That is very true. And Aranga says you are world famous, the world famous Tony Moy. Well, Aranga would know.
There are dozens of people around the world that are interested in what I do.
Well, Robert said you do great watercolors, and we do know that. Yes, we do.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much.
There's quite a few of your watercolor pieces on CAF.
I always forget to check on there, and then all of a sudden someone will send me a link, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember doing that, and I'll go on a deep dive, and I'll be like, oh crap, everything's on here. And some of them are really, really old too.
I was just going to ask you, is there anything on CAF that you'd like me to, have removed?
There's kind of, yeah.
I've heard that many times from artists that are like, man, there's some pieces that have been on the site for like 15 years. Could you just remove it, or maybe not remove it, but make it not be the first thing that comes up on Google Images when you type my name in, because those are always the ones that seem to be the most popular.
Yeah, I was just kind of retelling like when I started and everything else, and when my first show was, and it was about 10 years ago. So 2013 was when I did my first show, C2E2, and it's all been downhill from there. And like some of the stuff from that first year of not having any clue of what I was doing is actually out there.
Tony hatched intact, actually. Tony Tony did a watercolor of a character named Alanostic in the creator-owned book I made back in 2012 and 13. We published it in a collected edition, and it was phenomenal. It was like this. The guy was like this. Remember, Tony?
Yeah, I remember, and I wish I could redo it.
Oh my God,
Yeah, that I think I had no idea what I was doing. to be fair, but I appreciate the first kind of a cross collab with Kazra.
published right away, Tony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got lucky to know people like Kazra and Temple Smith and quite a few others when I first started off. So I started with a head start that a lot of people who I know are trying to get into shows or the industry did not have. And so I started off with a lot of confidence on my shoulders.
Yeah, you started off being really good and unique right away too. A lot of people struggle to get to that point, whether you were aware of it or not. We were.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. I was not aware of very much. I was still trying to figure this whole world out, and
people don't know that Tony had like a whole other established, mature career in a position of authority as an entrepreneur with a title, and we never really talked about it. But you got decent money. You didn't have to do any of this.
I took a pay cut when I quit the day job to come and do this for sure. Oh, yeah. I was climbing I was solidly within that corporate ladder, corner office kind of a thing, like lots of lackeys to do all the work for you kind of a thing.
Yeah, multiple laptops. Yeah,
multiple laptops.
Yeah.
The fastest processors on the market. Right.
I remember when coming back, when I started doing shows, I'd be flying back sometimes Monday morning, landing at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, hoping that my flight wasn't late so I can maybe take a shower before those 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. meetings. And this was before work from home, so I still had to make it to the office. So it was park the car at the airport, land, grab the car from the airport, go directly to the office. So those are fun days.
Well, I'm looking forward to when I can have lots of assistants, and I've already got the multiple laptop thing, but that's about it.
Yeah, now I have no assistants. So.
But you're probably happier. I'd have to.
I am. My hair color has stayed intact, as many of my other compatriots who have stayed in the industry have gone gray. So I will attest that to the lack of stress that I've had overall, or a different kind of stress, I'd say.
Now, what happened to Mr. Govar? I thought he was going to be.
I have no idea. I sent him. I poked him. I wasn't sure if he was in the in the waiting room or anything else. I know that he sent an email earlier that was like, "Hey, He
was excited to come on, but I guess maybe those sentiments changed.
Yeah, that's okay. I will send him a text. Just real quickly, I did send him a message. We are on. There you go. If he doesn't understand what that's about, then
not a problem.
But, I am his paint bro, not his paint manager.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you guys set up together a lot. When you get
it is. It started off as when going back to 2013, 2014. There was not too many watercolorists and painters that were going to conventions. It was quite rare. So I stumbled upon a medium that helped me stand out pretty quickly. And you quickly learn who at the conventions are actually also painting. And that's how we kind of met, because they're just like, oh, you're painting, you're watercolor too. And it was one C2E2 where they had like Andy Granoff, Dan, and I in a row, and we're all like kind of painting and
nice.
stuff. And I'm just like, how am I in this row?
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how that friendship kind of started, and just start seeing people at the same shows, and um, I think we broached the idea to do a collab piece or two for a Heroes Con auction, for the Heroes Con auction. Like, oh, what if we do a piece like, it's half the work, but it's one piece and it's together. And I think that solidified some of the friendship when we didn't kill each other for painting over each other's stuff.
Tony, I know we're gonna announce something. We don't have to wait for Daniel for it, but before we do that, what's the update on the book that you're working on? Because I know when you were in France and you were out in the middle of nowhere and you didn't have a car and hitchhiking and all that weird stuff that was going on, you were taking a lot of reference, specific reference photos, right?
Yes. So my for those who don't know, I'm working on a comic called The 442nd. It's about the Japanese Americans who fought during World War II to become the most decorated unit in U.S. history. And I knew absolutely nothing about this story when I stumbled upon them coming out of the pandemic. And I did the first part of the story, kind of testing out my chops with figuring out how to write it and assemble some of the story together and how I was going to approach it. And then I realized that I really had to solidify a lot of the research, and not just but the historically, but also in person. And so this year I actually went to Manzanar and visited the actual camps, and along with that, went to the actual towns that still celebrate where they were liberated during World War II by the Japanese Americans.
Nice.
So it's a little town called Bruyères. I had to take 3 trains to get there. Train canceled, and that's a whole story too, which I could go into, but that'll take a little bit. But in short, by actually going there and being in the city, I was told to go into the city hall because they had a little exhibit of the Japanese Americans, and I ran into the mayor of the town. He literally looks like Belle's father from Beauty and the Beast, like crazy old Maurice. Like legit, I was like, "You're Maurice." And he kind of gave me a quick tour of everything and showed me where in the town. He was very excited once he was like, "Oh, is the town going to be in your book?" I'm like, "Actually, it is. That's why I'm here." And then he was like, "Oh yeah, these are the streets that haven't changed, and these are the places, and that church tower and everything else." And the people that I met in the town were incredibly excited that I was there to do to get that research, and they made it an amazing trip. What started off with the pitfall of getting stranded in a desolate French town after trains.
I just wasn't sure, Daniel, hello, but I wasn't sure, hello. Tony, if it was like a sort of a one and done story thing or an ongoing thing, or what's the scope?
Okay.
What's the scope of this going to be?
Yeah. So now that every little bit of research I've done, I've started adding on to the scope. And so I've had to cut it off. So the cutoff point of that was visiting Bruyères and visiting France, and the Japanese American Museum in LA. And this is where in earnest the book starts forming over the next few months. There looks like it'll be 2 graphic novels, which are 4 to 5 issues each, so like a full 12 issue kind of scenario planned out to go. I will know exactly within a month or 2, because I'm planning on penciling it all out, hopefully by OAX.
Hey, if you need an editor, let me know.
Yes, I do. I will contact you.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. So that's where it is. There's more coming, all painted, and I am fully inspired and ready to go on that.
That's tremendous. And Daniel, hi, thanks for coming on. We held back showing off some of the stuff that we prepped. How are you doing?
I've been good. Crazy busy, but good.
Nice.
End of the year stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that happening.
Yeah, everyone wants to get all of their invoices in by the end of the year. So
yeah.
That and everyone wants Christmas presents.
Well, there's that too, but I've been mostly saying no to that, unfortunately.
Honestly, me too. I was like, if you didn't plan that Christmas present,
that should have been months ago. Yeah. No, I've had too many Star Wars and just other work. So
Good problems to have, probably. But
no, it is. It is.
But so we're less than 60 days from OAX, so I'm sure you guys are.
That countdown is getting real on this end. I don't know how's it feel on your end.
It's getting real on our end too. That's for sure. Yeah, we're getting the anxieties there, but once at this point, it's going to happen no matter what, whether we're 100% prepared for it or not. So we're just rolling with it. There's a few loose ends still that Kazra is going to square up tomorrow, I have a feeling, and nice. then it's easy. Everything's easy after that.
I'm really excited for it.
Well, we are too. I mean, and the cool thing, is the idea that we're running into so many different artists. You guys are painters, right? I mean, there's going to be other painters there. I think that's what's going to be really fun about this. We brought in we spoke to a different a trading card artist who also is a painter, who we just because of working in trading cards and being a painter, we decided to make space to have come in too. So it was a really it's probably the last artist we're going to be able to bring in, but it was for us, it was a cool addition because it just kind of fits the model that we have with wanting to just have, we don't want just the pen and ink art, comic book artists. We want to kind of span the breadth of artistic skill sets and
a broad spectrum.
We've got that. We've definitely got that.
So
no sculptors. I think sculpture is the only one that we don't have, though I know we had a sculptor ask to be at the show just today, or maybe that was yesterday. I don't know. Yeah. But maybe one year we will have a sculptor.
Scott Radke will come.
Yeah. Scott Radke would be cool. Shiflett Brothers.
So is this like a crazy seating chart, or like like that crazy way? Like, oh, we can't put them all together here, but we got to mix them around, or we got to get certain. Well,
people. You and Daniel are going to be by Temple Smith already asked to be near you, and then by George Pratt. So probably the four of you right in a row.
Oh wow, very cool.
Awesome.
That's a pretty decent setup right there.
That's a pretty powerful row.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe James Martin from Ringling as well. Yeah. Oops.
So the reason we brought you on is because we wanted to give everybody the scoop on some pre-con opportunities that you both have. They're very, very much in line, with as far as pricing and structure and size and everything. So when and we have decent examples of on the slides, but I put some forms on the OAX website for you guys, so it'll make it easy for the submissions from people. But I also link to your websites from there because you have so much more artwork on your websites, and I felt like that gives anybody who's not super familiar with your work to also ask questions maybe before getting lining up any pre-con work with you guys. So that is all taken care of, and the links are already on the OAX website, by the way. I turned those on just before the show started, so those are out there. But I'll show the slides here too, so everybody knows what's available from you both. And Tony, I'll start with you since you were here first.
Okay.
So and I know on here it says $400 to $500 on the 10 by 14 bus. And just so everybody knows, on the web form, the way we had programmed it, I couldn't put a price range, so I decided to err on the side of caution, and I put it at $500 for it. But so everybody should know that it is actually $400 to $500, and I'm sure that you guys will work that out, with any pre-con requests that you do get for people for this particular size.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I like this. I mean, and you both had your own ways of showing scale. But after this one,
Dan did it first.
but this one, these are the 10 by 20.
Troy, it's not an original.
But yeah, I like that.
Very large
the
sign.
Batman sketch here. But so yeah, you've got a 10 by 20 portrait landscape at $800, fully painted. And the one thing I wasn't sure about on these, because going through the emails and everything, I mean, how do you handle? Are you typically looking for people to give you a single character request for these commissions?
Sometimes, like, so these commissions here with the Mysterio was just a single commission. They just wanted it like a larger size and kind of go crazy. I'm like, okay, that'll be fun. The landscape there is actually the Clark Kent, the Kent house in Smallville, and they just wanted that. And there's like a little red cape on the clothesline, and to a little bit more on sort of that landscape thing. We have a nice Samurai Jack piece, and they really wanted to capture that landscape. So it's if you really want to get into like a little more of the landscape and a little fun kind of stuff, or give room for the watercolor to feel like watercolor, because I feel sometimes people just want a character, and the character takes up a lot of room on the page. That atmosphere also has a good effect, especially with watercolor, that can impact it all, like Mysterio and all the mist and the giving room for that watercolor to have fun with that.
So after that size, we have a 15 by 20 as well.
Yeah, and this is a relatively new one, just through kind of people. I've always wanted to work a little bit larger, and some commissioners this year started asking for giving me the flexibility to go larger, and they're like, yeah, I want something really like larger than you normally do. I'm like, go crazy, and it kind of ended up in this $2,000 plus phase where it started off with they wanted a plastic man fighting any villain, so I kind of said, well, who else can kind of match Plastic Man, kind of that? So I kind of did a Clayface to Cloud, and just the crazy backgrounds, and just letting lighting effects kind of go with the other two. So that's kind of been a new one on requests, and I don't have that really on my website, and it's really only been people who have contacted me and requested something above and beyond. I've kind of offered this size, so putting it out there for OAX.
Fantastic. And then we had one more.
Yes. Just this. I have a roll of watercolor paper.
Wow.
It's hot press, and the roll is about 44 inches tall, and you can just roll it out as far as you need. And so technically I can go longer or larger than this, but there's been a few where they just wanted like landscapes, or they had a wall, or they wanted to put it on a door to their man cave or to their rec room or something like that. They just had a space, and I was like, okay. And so literally there's only been a couple of these that I've ever done. So if you've seen me at a couple of shows, that poison ivy there, with the rose, I've kind of taken that with me around, and it just to capture eyeballs as they walk by the show. They're like, holy cow, that's huge. So yeah, this is the life-size version.
Very nice. And Daniel, so we've got a similar tier set as well. And a reminder to everybody, if you just go to OA-expo.com, right at the top of the page, it has links for their pre-con forms. And I'll have mugshots up there tomorrow, so it'll be easy. It'll be like, there's Tony, I'm clicking on him, and then I can fill out the form. So let's see here. Now we don't get any anything for scale on the small one, but the same thing here. The 10 by 14s are listed as $400 to $500, but I did put it at $500 on the site, just so everybody knows. And then you also have the 10 by 20 as well at 800. And this is where we get Dan modeling with the art in his sandals.
Dan started the modeling thing, and I was just like, well, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to draw Batman and do it scale. So
He's got the coffee fingers there, Kaz. Like he's sipping a cup of cafe. So the $800 on this one. Gorgeous work as always, Daniel.
Oh, thank you.
And let's see here. Then same 15 by 20 with the varnished artboard.
I remember seeing him paint some of these.
Yeah. I get a lot of requests for water effects, in particular, water and fire elements, really.
Especially Batman in the Rain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, everybody knows that when you varnish, a painting, it just makes all the colors pop.
Oh, they totally. Yeah.
You have to do that with oils and acrylics generally, but yeah, I mean, it's just a wonderful effect, and it does make it just presentation wise, you want to put it on the wall. I mean, because it just really makes everything look so much better.
We use honey-based watercolors, which have much richer pigments. So technically, it doesn't really need the varnish, but the varnish really brings out like a layer of depth that just doesn't have it. If you don't varnish it, you won't see that.
And life size option here as well. And an X-Men piece. That's nice. How long did that take you?
That one took a little while. They kept adding characters.
Well, you can fit another one in here.
I was like, really? Okay.
Wow.
That was a lot of fun. I'm a huge X-Men. I grew up reading X-Men, so anytime I get a chance to play with some of those characters, it's always fun.
Well, that's awesome. I don't think I've seen that one before, but like I mentioned, when you go onto the forums over on the OAX website, links are there to take you both to Tony and Daniel's website, so you can check out the breadth of their work and ask them any questions you want before you register for any of the commission opportunities. So and also check out CAF, because I know both of you guys have a lot of artwork on there. Yeah.
Alex Johnson, he asked about shipping. I mean, if someone gets a large piece, Dan, just to bring this up, Daniel, you live pretty close to Orlando, so I assume it's something. Here, So you could bring it to the show, and the commissioner, you could show it to them, but you could drive it right back home and ship it from home. In that case, yeah. If
it's something that's really large, I mean, we can do there's different options. If it's a really large piece, we can do a roll ship, which is probably the safest.
Yeah, the roll one is usually everything except the artboard. Artboard would have to be
depends on what size it is. The artboard is small enough that you can masonite, ship it, and it'll be really intact. But anything really big, life size, you're gonna
roll it. You're gonna roll that. Yeah.
And Tony, were you planning to stay longer, or are you going right back to Chicago and going right back to work?
Well, I'm going to be sticking around the area, possibly making a foray over to St. Pete's, where Dan lives, for a couple of days, and then come back for some other potential event happening later that week.
Oh, okay.
A bunch of us are coming over to where I live for art retreat, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
we've done this a couple of times, and it's always a blast.
So yeah, probably stay until at least the Monday after the show. I'm sure there'll be some people sticking around Sunday night and just kind of enjoy the company.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a trip to Universal on Monday.
Oh,
maybe with Adam Kubert, and maybe Bill Morrison, probably not Bill, I think, right? But Adam Kubert is all but to go.
Adam's in, to show off his work at Islands of Adventure, and we tried to get Bill Morrison, but Bill actually is a teacher, so we wanted to get him over at the Simpsons area. And that would have been fun, but I actually think he's going to be there on Friday. He's going to go over there Friday during the day before the show starts, which again, who wouldn't want to have a beer with a Duff beer with Bill Morrison in the Simpsons area at Universal? I want to, but the thing is, on Friday, I know I won't be able to do it. But
it's the most meta thing I think I've ever heard.
I know. I mean, you want to get a picture of yourself doing that. You know you do.
I would selfie that. Like,
I know. I'm so, because people will. I know they will, and I'm going to be very jealous that I couldn't do that. But yeah, so anyway, so there's a lot going to be going on before and after OEX, I think, in the area. So that's always going to be, that's why we want to do it in the middle, in the middle of winter, get people down here, warmer weather, fun things to do. So
I'm reading some of the comments and they're talking about dragons. I do a lot of dragons. Definitely check out my website.
Yeah, my girlfriend was thinking about a mermaid from you, Daniel. Yeah, tall
I do a
one.
lot of those too.
Yeah.
Mermay is something that I do every May. So every
nice.
day in May, I do a different mer person.
We actually have one. We have one from Tony, and she really likes your work. So
very
cool.
Boop, 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 boop.
But
we got one. We got one more. We got one more person waiting. I don't want to cut it off here abruptly, but we got to wind it down here in the next minute or so.
Okay.
10:50. We're trying to be nice.
But yeah, so if you guys end up running anything, let us know. But please, everybody who has any questions, email both these gentlemen directly. They'll set you up, answer any of those questions for you. That was a good question from Alex about the size on those, because I totally forgot about that. But we ran into that issue with another artist who had oversized artwork that they were offering, and the same question came up, but that was months ago. But yeah, no, I mean, it's gonna be great to have you guys here. And if you're next to Temple Smith and Pratt, what a great lineup that is.
I'll also be bringing some new artwork. I just got a gig with Marvel Snaps, the mobile game, and so I'll be doing some artwork for them. So there'll be some fun pieces to bring. It'll be due literally right before the show, so I'll be doing it, and then won't be able to show it off until they do, but you'll be able to see it in person at the show.
Nice.
Very nice.
Congrats.
I'll have a bunch of fantasy art from books that I've been working on for Naomi Novik.
Yeah.
So.
And they're beautiful. I've seen some of them. They're
very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah. All right, guys.
Yep. We will we'll be in touch. And
all right, absolutely. We look forward to it.
Thank you for hanging out a little later than getting started a little later than we planned, but we appreciate it.
For that.
59 days and counting.
Oh man,
is that what it is? I think it's less than that.
It might be less than that.
I'll take 59. I think it's less.
I think it's 56. Last time I went to Eventbrite, there's a counter on there. I know I'm in trouble.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Thanks. Tony.
Take it easy.
All right, one more guest.
Yes, we do. We have one more guest in the green room, ready to
go.
Guest
for last.
All right, well, let's bring in Mr. Matt,
Chicago's finest.
How's it going?
Hey, Matthew.
Good to see you.
Hey, Matt. Good to see you again, man.
Yeah, I think last time I saw you was Heroes Con, right?
That is correct.
Yeah,
did we even get a chance to talk? That was a pretty busy show for me, but yeah, I love Heroes, man. That's probably my favorite show of the year.
Sure.
I always have a good time at that one.
Yeah, it's always good. The only thing I regretted, I didn't go to that Marvel exhibit that was happening that same weekend, and everybody said it was so fantastic.
Yeah, we missed it too. We ran out of time.
Yeah.
We got to. I saw it in Columbus, so I mean, but yeah, I would have gone again if I had the time, because it's just that good to see that all the work, and you just don't have anything. But we're gonna have art exhibits at OEX.
That's exciting. That's super exciting.
We've got there'll be a Frazetta. I mean,
wow.
surprise, and we've got a lot of Marvel trading card art.
Nice.
A Boris, a Julie, Hildebrandt, at least one. It's going to be pretty spectacular.
I'm thinking of bringing. I had that card done for my fundraising campaign last year by Peter Scanlon, who did some Marvel art, and I got the original. And I've been wanting to show it off to people because it's so much more spectacular in person. So I may bring that with me to the show just to pass around and show off, because it's really cool.
No, well, I mean, that's the kind of stuff we want. If you do, I'd push that out in a mailing just to give people another reason to go to your table, right? Sure, I mean, I want that. Like, we have Bill Morrison. We were just talking about him. He's bringing like all the artwork to Simpsons 1 cover to cover. Wow. It's not for sale, but he wants to show it off.
Yeah.
And that's just, we talked about that earlier today. Many of the artists and guests that are bringing stuff or doing things that just are out of the ordinary. You wouldn't bring that even to Heroes, but you bring it here because everybody in the room loves looking at OA. So
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Well, I'm excited about it, and I know I got some pre-show commissions, which I'm pretty much caught up on. I'm working on a Calvin and Hobbes piece for Simon Miller right now, and I think that's it for my actual list. Inky Knuckles took on a bunch of mail out stuff for me. So, when I just heard you talking about how there's, less than 60 days, but I've got more time to do more pieces for people to pick up at the show.
Okay.
For sure.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Because I know we closed the one size, but should I just reopen that one as well? I'm actually forgetting which size that was at the moment, but I got one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Matthew sent us a few that he finished at the show tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put a video of that one up on Instagram today.
Yeah.
Got a lot of good responses from that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh.
You made a terrible character look amazing.
You're not the first person who told me that. Somebody else told me that. I think David Slack.
Son of a gun.
You actually made Cyclops look intimidating. I was like, okay.
Nice.
I always like Cyclops.
I was thrilled to see, because I didn't know what I was going to get, but here I'm showing it off to everybody. There's the piece that I got from Matt, and I couldn't be happier. Look at that thing. Cyclops has never looked so badass, right?
Can you zoom in on that at all, Bill, or do we have to look at his crotch?
You have to look at his crotch.
I got it here if you want to look at it on screen.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, here, let's take a look at that.
Blow him up. Look at that.
Get it out of the sleeve here.
Eat your heart out, Marcus. Look at that.
That's awesome.
That is gorgeous, Matt. Thank you so much. Awesome.
Aaron Conley asked me why I don't ever show like just a thumbnail of the full piece on Instagram. And it's like, because I spend so much time doing all this detail, I want to show it off. So that's why I do the videos instead. So
yeah, we talked about that. You and Wayshack, you almost have to figure out ways to present the art, like hovering over the surface and focusing on an area, because you can't take it in.
Yeah.
Like the Mondo poster, which is something that we'll show too. It's I don't know if you have it there, but if you do, it'd be cool to show it and then to show the art. You can't really tell what it is until you see it in person.
Yeah, let me grab the.
I got a lot of crap last night for picking a Trad Moore piece. I think for the same reason.
Yeah, I believe that's true.
I rolled this one just to see how it's going to travel, because I can't sell them yet because they haven't officially shipped them to the people that have pre-ordered them for Mondo.
Yeah, February.
Yeah. So, and I mean, they're done because they sent me all my comps. So I'm hoping they ship them beforehand. But I can definitely, I'm going to bring some to the show.
That's awesome.
And of course, it's legitimate silk screening,
6 color.
It's a little difficult to see here, but when you see it in person, it's really spectacular.
What's it printed on?
It's probably like an 80-pound coverweight stock, I would say, or maybe even 100-pound.
That's not like a cloth finish or something.
No.
Smooth.
And it's not slick either.
Okay. So
it's almost like a gypsum type color. It's a little off white. And then they also gave me some that were printed on a metallic silver stock with black and white ink, and that's a limited edition. They only did a small amount of those, so they gave me, I don't know, I think I'll bring like 3 to the show.
So I'm sorry, you can bring some to the show, is that right?
Yeah, I can definitely bring them to the show. I just can't sell them on my website right now.
Okay.
Just because it competes with their pre-orders. So,
well, yeah, the Mondo stuff is people climb over one another and throw babies out windows and things to get the Mondo posters.
Sure, yeah, I was honored to be asked.
Look at that.
I can't reveal what it was, but they asked me to do another project that I had to turn down because I didn't have time. That would have been amazing. But
man.
But
well,
I'll work with
ask
them
you
again in the future, hopefully.
Yeah. Josh Flanders is in the chat. He's a Chicago guy. There's a bunch of Chicago collectors and great guys that are going to be at OAX. So they're collectors and they're great guys. It's possible. And they're going to be at the show. Well, make sure you get introduced to them.
Yeah.
a whole bunch of them. Chris Kalaki, Steve Davidge, Josh, whole
Okay.
bunch of them.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wow, that piece is beautiful.
But here I got two other commission pieces that you had finished too. Because I thought this Doctor Doom was freaking awesome. Look at that.
Yeah, that's one of the 5x7s.
It's amazing, man.
Thank you.
And you had a Lone Wolf as well.
Nice.
And that one I think I'm still technically working on. That's one of the things about, doing a pre-order is that the longer I have it in my possession, the more I'm going to tinker with it. So there may be some more detail on that one at some point.
And
they're fantastic.
Yeah. So I'll make sure, because I think we had did I set you to close yet? No, I hadn't. But I'm gonna I'll re-add the other size that like you just said you're finishing up one for Simon. So I'll reopen it, and I have a mailing going out tomorrow with the stuff we've been announcing tonight. So I'll get that back in there.
Perfect.
And then what was this? I know we got these images. Something from a French publication?
Yeah, so Comics Initiative is a French publisher, and they've done about 50 books so far, and they're doing a French edition that they're going to launch a campaign for in January, I believe. So this is the new cover for that. I'm going to have the original art for that. I'm also doing a 4-page short story for that. That's exclusive to the French edition. I'll be bringing those pages with me as well.
Wow. Well, I love Cankor.
Thank you. Well, and then I just got the preliminary for the variant by Lee Bermejo, and it looks so cool. Just like the basic sketch that he did, it's gonna be awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Are you gonna get to own that?
Well, the trade-off is that I'm giving him a custom piece, so I'm hoping I get the original. We never actually hatched that out. Now that you mention it, I'm hoping that's what's going to happen. So I'll have to double check with him on that.
Well, I love Lee's traditional work, so
yeah,
that would be pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I know that you were working. You were working on a new book. Matthew, yeah, and I thought maybe you were going to bring maybe like a little preview of it, maybe. I don't know what
so
the timing's
initially
like on that, though.
I was going to do an exclusive ash can for OAX, but I felt like it was more important to do actual original pieces to sell at the show.
Yeah,
and, ash can I think is more appropriate for C2E2 or more comics based show as opposed to the art. So that was the trade off. So, but I am still working on it. I just am not going to do the ash can.
Do you have any kind of idea on when you'd like the release date to be for that?
If all goes well, I can start doing pre-orders on it around summertime.
So that's going to be through you, yeah? It's going to be directly from you?
I'm probably, I've talked to some different people about maybe having it published, but I think I'm just going to do it myself.
Nice. Very nice.
I'm too controlling and too particular about
exacting.
things. So,
Exacting. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So we'll see. I may bring some of that art just to show off once I get it scanned in, just so people can see what it is I'm working on.
Nice.
So that some of that may come with me to the show.
Is it kind of Cancor adjacent, same world, autobiographical, or just a little far afield?
It's broken up into 3 pieces. It's bookended by a conversation, a fictional conversation between Frederick Wortham and this man who runs a home for wayward boys, all about the effect of comic books on kids, and it delves a lot into addiction, mass media, and then the back end of the book is about this person named Aaron Stubbs. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He had a collection that he had put together in the 90s that he funded by stealing money from the state of Colorado because he worked for the Department of Revenue, and he would write himself checks take them to comic book stores, cash the checks, and then buy Golden Age comics.
So he was your hero growing up.
No, I don't know if he was my hero, but he was definitely an interesting character. So I have an analog for him on the back end of the book. The middle part of the book is just all like 60s underground influence, psychedelic mayhem.
Oh my God!
You'll see how it all ties together, but it's very different from Kinkor. It's going to be black and white, probably 48 pages. So I'm excited about it. I've been working on it for a while.
That sounds amazing.
Nice.
Awesome. I am. I'm just going to say I'm tired.
I'm sure.
Well, we've had several long days, but we have and many more ahead of us, Matt. But yeah, OAX is going to be awesome, man. It really is. We can't wait for it to get here. I think it's going to be one of the more cool experiences that I've gotten to be that I'm going to get to go to, and I'm getting to put together. So it's fun. We're gonna learn a lot, and we're already. So it's hard, but we're already thinking about OAX too.
Oh, you have to. Yeah, you got to get way ahead on these things.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited as well. I appreciate that you guys are doing this because, like I said to you last time, to me, it's what comics are all about, is just the art. That's all I really care about. And so, to have something that's so laser focused on that is well worth it, I think. So.
Agreed.
Honestly, Matthew, I want to talk to you about some guest ideas for OAX too. I want to probe your brain a little bit, because your brain is awesome, and some of the stuff in your brain is where I'd like to go with a big part of OAX.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Please do. I would be more than happy to talk about that. And then in terms of, you guys are still doing the auction, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will have the original pieces for this creature poster to bring for the auction. That poster is 2 separate drawings that were put together. So
wow,
I'll have to work out the details with you guys on what you think is going to be best to put them up as a lot or do them separately. So we can talk about that later.
Yeah, 100%. Anytime. If you want to do it over Zoom or email or phone, whatever you like.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Cool.
That is amazing. Yeah. Thanks for coming back on. We wanted to do a follow-up, and when you sent the commissions, it was like, wow. If we, next year we'll be about a month or 2 ahead of schedule, and we'll have a lot of the artists on showing off the commissions and the work that they're doing, and that'll be so much fun to do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm more than willing to come back anytime.
Fantastic. Well,
the chat is still going. These guys are amazing. We're 2+ hours in, and they're still talking smack. Amazing.
It never ends.
No.
But yeah, man, it's gonna be great. And we missed out on having you and Aaron do that smaller show. I think it was like 9 months ago. So I'm glad that you were able to kind of rework Florida back in your schedule to do OAX, because and Aaron's going to be there. Aaron's going to be part of a Felix announcement, I think, that we're going to be doing next Tuesday. So we're because even though he's been on the site, we've never haven't asked him to be on the show to do any interviews or anything since that time. So maybe we'll have him on next Tuesday. But yeah, we'll try to situate you guys near each other if you like.
Yeah, for sure. I'm getting out there a little bit early because I have a signing in Maitland, Florida at a shop called Blackbird Coffee.
Oh, you're coming. Because that got canceled last year.
Yeah.
That was the same place. Cool.
Yeah, so I'm coming out on the 24th, actually. They're going to pick me up from the airport, and then we're going to do like a evening signing at the shop. So
awesome.
Yeah.
I will be there.
Cool. Sounds great.
All right, Matt. Well, thanks for coming on. I'll reopen some of the commission stuff for you tomorrow, and hopefully we can secure a few more of those for you before the show.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
See you, man. Have a good night. See you. All right, Bill Cox.
Hey, it's late. I figure I found those images of the floor. I know you're tired, but we could just show a couple. We give people something to look at before we sign off. Is that okay?
If you want to do it now, we got next Tuesday.
That'll have Felix on. That could be a 3-hour show. You never know.
Sure, let's do it now then.
All right. Here, let's see here. It won't take long, man.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine.
I know.
I'll just
You know,
let you talk.
I think Jason already left, so you know.
Oh, I feel better then.
Yeah, this is like we're talking in secret. He doesn't get to hear about it.
Start with the
rough. So
the hotel one there.
Which one? This one, or you're talking about the hotel's layout? Oh, yeah, that's actually better to start there.
Yeah, I actually numbered them, Bill. Believe it or not, you know.
Yeah, I guess I'm ordering them differently. Okay, so yeah, so the hotel is right here, everybody. And the cool thing is I know it shows bathrooms right there. I don't think there's bathrooms right there, but those are the elevators. So people who they're putting us all in the same. There's basically two towers, and the one tower is definitely pretty much exclusive to OAX guests. But you step out of that elevator, that's not a bathroom, and you turn to your left, and you're right in the hall. So it's incredibly convenient. The registration desk is right across from the elevators too. So that's where you're going to be able to see Maureen and Gwen and my daughter Emma. They're going to be working there probably all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But this is the main hall. So it's just a big square, 2 entrances on either side. But the cool thing is this whole wall there is all windows over here. So tons of natural light. We've basically got everything up to this C section here. This C section, great.
Yeah, you did. You said it. Yeah,
I did say it, didn't I? Seminole C is where the auction is, but this ED section is all seating area for round tables. Will be spread out from one end to the other for people to hang out and pass portfolios back and chill. Basically, these smaller rooms in between are where we have the galleries. So I think the galleries up here is going to be the Korshak collection, and then down here we'll have the Marvel card art, Kubert's Adam stuff, as well as Wolfie fans Kubert artwork,
and one more to be announced. Yeah,
one more to be announced. So just pretty it's pretty awesome that we're planning on next year we'll probably have the entire space. So but that's if Kaz he can make anything happen. So
no, I'm watching. I'm laughing at the chat.
Well, I'm not even looking at I'm not even looking at the chat. I've got this thing over that. C-section. I'm never gonna do that again. And Jason's here. Doggone it! I thought we were talking secret stuff.
He only leaves so we start talking about him.
Right. See, but you said these are numbered. See,
they are. Look at the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. Well, see, mine wasn't ordering by name. So yeah, main floor, in that large square, the exhibitor booths, which are mostly art dealers, are going to be against the outside wall with the artist. We were originally going to do rows differently, but we decided the islands work better, I think, for the flow of the show. So end caps are going to be, your main groups. I think we'll have an end cap for Next Comic Art, one for Felix and the artist that he's bringing, which you'll find out about next Tuesday, and then another one for Essential. And I forget who was going to be on the fourth one. Maybe it's undecided at the moment.
It is.
But Collector Island, this is where you're going to be able to find Jason, James, Wolfie Fan will be there, Jeff Singh, Kavi, Mikhail, Aranga,
and Zadok, which we haven't announced.
That is true. Zadok is going to be there with representing a collection of artwork. He'll be there, as well as Joseph Melchior from Little Brit Comic Art he will be there. And then so it's a decent layout. We feel that the main thing was there will be no pipe and drapes that are block an obscure view in here. We wanted everything to be very open, so if you're over on this end of the hall, you can pretty much see everything, and that was the goal. So we wanted to
35 of those red 10 by 10 exhibitor booths, 35 of them, and 60 6-foot tables, 52 for artists, and there'll be artists in the booths as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
one of our 3D rendered. Yep.
3D, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, fancy.
Yes. we were no expenses, spared here. We look at this thing, man. It looks like we know what we're doing.
Mm. Once we get secure the pipe and drape tomorrow, we could say that.
Yes, because right now we don't have pipe and drape, everybody. But yes, we are definitely going to have pipe and drape soon. But I see Rich Donnelly's in the audience. Cool Lines will be there. Rich has got a booth. Steve's got 2 booths, so they'll have 3 booths at the show. But again, you can see the whole goal was we just wanted it to feel like an art show at the end of the day. We didn't want it to feel like a con. So that's why we wanted everything as open as possible. I think we're all going to appreciate that. The floors are carpeted. You're not going to have sore feet by the end of this thing. Yeah,
I think we're getting Marcus more and more interested when he does his Darth Vader cosplay at OAX.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like that idea. Where is the open bar? The open bar is actually on Friday night as part of the VIP, as those of you who are VIPs know all about it. It will be out in the courtyard. We've got the weather's good, we should say. We hope it will be, but it's beautiful. Palm trees. I'm sure they'll have some fire pits, lots of standing tables. But yeah, we'll have an open bar there with food on Friday for those VIPs and the exhibitors and guests that we have there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. There's on Saturday night it starts at 5:30. We have the art auction, but it's also a pizza party. And if anybody who went to Heroes knows, pizza during an art auction is a wonderful thing. So
yeah, after you drink, it's even better.
It is.
Marcus asked like a question we should have asked a long time ago. Will there be a diaper walk? We have not asked Anthony whether he's going to be doing a diaper walk.
But if somebody pays him $1,000, that we might have an answer. Let's see.
Maybe it costs less at OAX. Maybe it's only $100.
It may. I know Tim Guerrero's had a lot of questions. We haven't put together that list of things to do, Tim. But I mean, there was a short list on the website or in the facts section. But for prior to the show, we will be releasing sort of things to do in the area. Things, addresses to the nearest FedEx, those sorts of things. That'll all be a part of it. I see you're asking about a program. We haven't specifically talked about a program, but there will be a swag bag. I can tell you that there's at least 1 print, if not 2, that might be a part of that. So you will have things that you will want to take around and get signed. Absolutely. So yeah, you can count on that. The swag bag is going to be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we haven't had the time we would have enjoyed to brainstorm on that as much as we'd like, but I can guarantee you, those of you who are coming will walk away with some pretty fun stuff, things that you will remember OAX fondly for.
Yeah, Aranga, there might be a half a table left in Collector's Alley, and if there is, we'll look into a bidet vendor. So Jason he won't have to travel with his favorite bidet. At least he can buy one there.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. So yeah. And we should let everybody know it was in the mailing. We were able to secure 50 additional VIP spaces for Friday night. And what we decided to do was everyone who already had a ticket, and aren't VIP, so those people who bought single day or weekends or weekend with couple without VIP, we sent out a mailing to the existing ticket holders, letting them know if they wanted to upgrade that they could. We're going to hold those for those people through Friday, and I think we've sold at least 10 so far from the 50. So on Saturday we will reopen the VIP ticket sales until they're sold out. And I don't know what that number will be, but it could be 35 to 30. It would be my guess. And we'll let everybody know when that happens. So if you haven't bought your ticket yet and you want to go VIP, the smartest thing to do would be to buy your ticket now and then let us know that you want to upgrade it before it's open to the public. So what does it get you besides the bidet? It gets you the reception on Friday, which is an open bar and dinner, and the chance to hang out with the elite, if you want to call it that. All the exhibitors and guests will be there. That's really what the VIP was all about. I
think Ian has asked about parking, and if I remember right, obviously, if for offsite guests, if you're there, you get a discounted rate for overnight. But I believe it's a discounted rate of $11 a day if you're not staying at the hotel.
I think that's correct too, from the contract that we signed.
Yeah.
I don't know how they validate that. Maybe it's just to show them your badge or something like that. But the hotel has a ton of parking, right up against where you'd be walking into the main lobby. So anybody who's not staying at the hotel and just driving in, you will have a place to park. There's plenty of that, and I think their normal rate is like $30 a day. But if you're coming to our show, it's $11. I don't know how they came up with that number, but that's what it was. Don't VIPs want to feel like VIPs? Don't make it turn into a cattle herd. Okay.
The good news there is, Alberto, there were a few less VIP badges bought from exhibitors, but especially from the 62 artists. We were worried that the 62 artists might end up with being about at least 100 VIP tickets. And it's actually closer to only about 70, 72, 75. So when we got our final numbers, we were able to adjust. So it's actually going to come in right where we thought it was. And the really good news there is that we were hoping 85% plus of the artists and exhibitors would be at the reception. And as of today, I don't know a single person that will not be at the reception. Can you think of anyone, Bill? It's 100%.
No, everyone, wants to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that is the thing that I think a lot of people are looking forward to, because other shows just don't do that, right? Not in the States.
Yeah.
So.
Now that adjusted our numbers slightly higher than our initial projection, but we're still slightly ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's going to be very comfortable because the space is huge. And
the space fits more than 1,000 people.
Yeah. But we were trying to keep it to feeling VIP and exclusive, and it'll all be cordoned off and all that.
That's open bar. Let the open bar take over that, and the open bar will make it feel like a VIP.
Oh my gosh! Keep me away from the open bar.
And no long speeches, and it's VIP.
No. After I thank the Academy, I'm done. I'll just Sharon will probably want to sing "Happy Birthday" to Calf and cut a cake or something like that. But outside of that, I don't think the speeches will last very long. And we hope it'll be comfortable too, Tim. We're hopeful that it'll be 70 degrees and no rain. So. Party is at Kazra's room. We just, he's got a nice space, and when people are bored, he'll make sure everybody has his cell phone number. You can just give him a buzz, and he'll have plenty of Zevia and other snacks ready and raring to go.
Oh yeah, Zevia pairs so great with vodka. Yeah.
I won't be jumping out of a cake, Marcus. But anyways, we'll let it go. We'll leave it there. We've got some more things probably on Thursday, but not as much like last week. And just plan on next Tuesday. By next Tuesday, we will have announced all the artists. I think once we have Felix on here, that will be it. We'll be done with all of that. So everybody will know who's coming. And I think that you can start doing your game plans on which artists and exhibitor booths you want to hit, and that's when our life gets a little bit easier too, because we've been doing a lot of tracking down and trying to get these people lined up and signed up. So, all right, we're calling it a night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you do have any questions, you can always hit us up. info@OA-Expo is the best way, because it goes to both of us, and one of us will get back to you if you need anything answered. So have a good night, and I'll see you.